HarperCollins and Harper Audio present Blood Money, Why the Powerful Turn a Blind Eye While China Kills Americans, by Peter Schweizer, read by Charles Constant. To Rhonda, with great love, thank you for everything. Be so subtle that you are invisible. Be so mysterious that you are intangible. Then you will control your rival's fate. Sun Tzu. When you want to help people, you tell them the truth. When you want to help yourself, you tell them what they want to hear. Dr. Thomas Sowell. Introduction. Vacant Eyes. Here, then, was one of the great secrets of the war and of the world, but hardly anyone would believe it, and almost all the great responsible authorities stood gazing at it with vacant eyes. Winston Churchill, The World Crisis, Volume 2. Americans were horrified in early 2023 when a Chinese spy balloon as tall as a 20-story building drifted openly into U.S. airspace and traversed the country from Alaska to South Carolina, following a flight path near U.S. cities and major military installations. The balloon was finally shot down over the open waters of the Atlantic. Chinese officials claimed that it was a weather balloon that had gone off course. After early warnings and a delayed response in shooting it down, President Joe Biden eventually called the balloon's mission unacceptable and a violation of our sovereignty. But less obvious and far greater looming dangers from China have also invaded the United States. Unlike the spy balloon, these invasions are killing Americans. Illegal weaponry, drugs, money, secret agents and bots to sow social chaos, and a deadly life and economy-disrupting virus have all invaded from China. Yet most of our leaders choose to gaze with vacant eyes rather than expose and confront the danger. Many people fear that a war with China may be coming, but the war is already here. This is not a shooting war with boots on the ground, fighters flying overhead, or Navy destroyers pummeling the coastline. American soldiers and Marines are not dying on battlefields. Cities are not being bombed. It is a war, nevertheless, with massive civilian casualties that is decimating our social stability, if not actual buildings. Sun Tzu, the ancient Chinese strategist, posited that the supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. This ancient concept remains central to modern China's approach to war. Sun Tzu's words guide the minds of today's Chinese leaders. Since 2006, every officer, soldier, and sailor has been required to study Sun Tzu's book, The Art of War, as a textbook. In keeping with this approach, China's official military strategy focuses on, in the Chinese leaders' words, going after the United States' soft underbelly in terms of politics, economics, and the spirit and psychology of its people. Chinese leaders have coined new terms such as unrestricted warfare and disintegration warfare to describe Sun Tzu's old strategy of winning without fighting. For several years, the Chinese military and intelligence services have studied disintegration warfare, which was clearly building on Sun Tzu's ideas of deception, disruption, and subduing the enemy without fighting, said Admiral Fumio Ota, the former director of Japan's Defense Intelligence Headquarters. In 2010, the Chinese military produced a book entitled Disintegration Warfare, which featured Sun Tzu's "To subdue the enemy without fighting is the acme of skill" on the front cover. The same quote is repeated 10 times in the Chinese government's official Three Warfares strategy adopted in 2003. Deception is key to the strategy of fighting without appearing to fight. Sun Tzu also posited that all warfare is based on deception, a phrase that is etched on the wall of the library at the Chinese military's command academy in Nanjing. According to a textbook given to Chinese military officers, Xi Jinping has emphasized that our state's ideology and social system are fundamentally incompatible with the West. Xi has said, "This incompatibility decides it. Our struggle and contest of power with the West cannot be moderated. It will inevitably be long, complex, and at times extremely sharp." Complex, sharp, and deadly. The lethal consequences of China's war are real and amount to casualties greater than the United States has suffered in war in the past 50 years. In the past 5 years alone, hundreds of thousands of...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?